I'm gonna walk you through my writing process. You might be asking yourself, why this guy, who hasn't even achieved his writing goals, who hasn't had a good published work to speak of? Because I've tried a lot of stuff, and I've gotten better. I'm willing to experiment with the process of writing, to study a little bit of literature, to get into an author's head by writing his exact words as an exercise. I have multiple first drafts sitting around using Stephen King's method of 2,000 words a day. And I believe the next thing I have for you is worth showing the world. So kick back and relax and listen to the words I have to say to you. They might be the words you need to hear. You never know. Let's start with the daily caffeination. I've already downed 2 energy drinks and I need my coffee. I don't know how people write without caffeine, let alone think. Am I an addict? Maybe so. But it's my drug of choice and I happen to love it very much. As a side note, I will also hydrate, get some creatine, satisfy all my nutrition needs with supplementation, multivitamins, moringa pills for the greens I need, fish oil properly refrigerated, sometimes apple cider vinaigrette because why not, had some eggs which contain their own micronutrients. I've also already done some reading at this point. I've audiobooked the Dresden Files, at least a chapter, and read a few pages from a story called Time and Again by Jack Finney, a time travel story, which Stephen King happened to consider the quintessential time travel story. A daily dose of what I need for research purposes, because you have to trek the paths that have already been trekked, know what's already been done. So when you put your story out there, it's not just some contrived piece of... A little extra creatine will help pass the blood-brain barrier. According to some studies and stuff that Dr. Rhonda Patrick says, a super smart science lady on the interwebs. Highly recommend giving her a follow if you like longevity and optimizing your living. She's like a big proponent of the sauna. But FYI, Greg Doucette is the best fitness influencer hands down. Tells it like it is in a no BS way and calls out all the BS. Fitness influencers are constantly trying to lie to you. Don't believe everything you hear. It's long past time to write. I'm heading to Starbucks. I hear what you're saying through this very screen. How are you going to ignore Stephen King's advice and on writing? How are you not going to close the door when you write and get absorbed in your own world? The answer is I'm experimenting with a lot of stuff, okay? You got to try different things and see what works for you. I'm going to need you to shh for like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm listening to Jim Butcher, okay? This story happens to be very compelling and I'd like to listen. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And you being here is just a little bit distracting, okay? Thank you. Oh, good, you're still here. I've arrived at the Starbucks and it's really crowded today. I'm ready to get my drugs and my writing on. My legal, socially acceptable drugs. See you in 2 to 3 hours. Almost an hour has gone by, and I've gotten my 2 pages of brainstorming. Now I commence the writing session. I did not secure my usual spot. Got 400 words nonetheless. This is maybe my gazillionth bathroom break. I've been ordering decaf coffees ever since I got my first tall iced coffee. You want to write and caffeinate, you gotta use the bathroom. Much progress has been made. With 1% battery remaining, I'm out. 3 refills later and a coffee for tomorrow. I'm ready to leave. Goodbye, Starbucks. Just be quiet for a few more minutes. I would like to keep listening to the Dresden Files. Today I hit 3,200 words. That is not standard for me. Normally I hit 2,000 words. This particular story, I just so happened to have known where it was going. It could also be that my method of a 2-page brainstorm has helped the writing process along. I should also note that there will be plenty of revisions to do. For tomorrow now I have my spare coffee that I went away with because of free refills. I hope to knock out that Monday morning session bright and early, so I have the rest of the day free to read and to exercise. Final note, I usually don't have this much time. I'm a music teacher, so I'm spending time commuting to work and actually working. But if you could really utilize those 2 to 3 hours after work, you could definitely get those 2,000 words in. Yesterday I finished with some editing on the phone, and I think I'm going to try that again tonight. While I've heard a surprising amount of people tell me they've written their entire novel on their phone, I've tended to prefer the editing process on the phone. Something about the phone screen and scrolling through felt very natural. In some ways I am a product of the modern age. But however you do it, I want to hear from you and your methodology. So many of us have a story to tell. What a shame it would be if you didn't get it out there for lack of trying and the lack of creativity. So experiment with your experience. You never know what's going to work. Get out that first draft and let me know your experience in the comments.